Hello there, psychology students. Professor Zeeb here, and welcome to your online Psych 9 class. I am Professor Zeeb, and I'm absolutely excited to work with all of you this semester in our late start fall 2025 Psych 9 class. All right, so I thought I would drop down this video just to kind of introduce myself and to kind of get you oriented towards the class because things happen very quickly in a class like this. So I am Professor Zeeb. I've been a professor for over 20 years now. I enjoy playing guitar. I scuba dive and snorkel, and I'm the quintessential family man. So that's a little bit about me. Anyway, so let's just kind of go through some things you need to know about the class. Make sure you watch the entire video because there's a lot of important information throughout the entire video. So the first thing is to get the textbook as soon as possible. Okay, so you want to get the textbook. We're going to be using that right from the get-go. So the textbook is listed on the syllabus. I do have a copy on reserve at the library, so you can use that if you're on campus, but you want to get that textbook as soon as possible. It is 100% mandatory because you'll be using it for your assignments. Make sure you read the syllabus, okay? So the syllabus is really important. I have all my class policies and procedures. So make sure you read the syllabus in its entirety. I do have all the due dates on there as well. So make sure you read that. You can find it right from the homepage. There's a link in that red box to get to the syllabus. So this week, we're going to start right off because we're such an accelerated course. And by the way, that's the real challenge with a class like this is things are going to happen very, very fast. The class is designed for an extremely motivated student because we're covering a whole semester in about 8 weeks. So that means you have to be really on top of your game, really disciplined, and ready to work right from the beginning. So this week, we are going to start in with our first couple chapters. Okay, so you do have a mandatory discussion assignment due this week. The discussions are always a little confusing for students because there are actually two due dates, and Canvas sometimes only lists the second due date. So let me clarify. There are two due dates. You have one for the original post. So for discussion one, your original post is due on October 24th, and then a second due date, which is when you're replying to your peers, and that is due on October 31st. So there are two due dates. You have to meet both of those. Students often miss that first one for whatever reason. So that's why I'm telling you now, your original post for discussion number one is due on October 24th. So please take note of that. It is 100% mandatory. Okay, so a question I get from students is, Professor Z, where is the work? What am I supposed to be doing? So in Canvas, if you go to the link called modules, you'll see it on the left side of the page. All of the work is lined up there and ready for you. I'm going to point your attention to the unit summary. So each unit will have a unit summary towards the top. I would highly, highly recommend opening that up and looking at that because it lays down what you have to do in what order by what date. So all of the due dates are listed there. There will be no excuses for turning in stuff late. So I'm just saying, make sure you read those unit summaries, okay? Especially, like I said, in a semester like this, when things happen extremely fast, you have to be really on top of it and keeping track of those assignments. Do not rely on the Canvas to-do list because it does miss things occasionally. So use the syllabus and the unit summaries to keep track of all of the assignments and due dates. This week, we also have a chapter quiz. We actually have two of those, so each chapter will have its own quiz that you must complete. So the chapter one and chapter two quizzes are due on October 26th, okay? So the way I've designed the class is I'm going to kind of clump them together into two separate quizzes due on the same date. So that will give you time to prepare each week for the quizzes, okay? So let me just back up. So we have some mandatory assignments for this week. You have your discussion, so the original post and two replies, and then the two quizzes. So I just want to make sure you understand that if you miss any of those, so if you miss the original post for the discussion and the discussion due dates, as well as the chapter quizzes. So if you miss any of those, I will probably be dropping you from the class because I'm using this for participation to see who is active in the course. I get students who sign up for the class, they don't do anything for various reasons. So this is my way of making sure that you're active in the class and you're serious and you're going to continue, okay? So make sure you complete the chapter 1 and 2 quizzes and the original post for the discussion number 1 assignment. In terms of the quizzes, you do get to drop one quiz, okay? So Canvas will automatically drop whatever your lowest quiz score is at that time. You don't have to do anything. Canvas will do that automatically for you, but I am going to give you that leeway to drop one quiz. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is the one-time late pass. So you do get to turn in one of your assignments late if you so choose, like if something happens and you cannot complete the work. You have to notify me within 24 hours of the due date to request this, and then if everything looks good, I will give you 3 days to turn in that assignment, okay? So once again, you have to request that within 24 hours of the due date, or I will not be grading it. Please contact me through email and then let me know why you can't do it so we can kind of stay on the same page. If everything looks good, like I said, you'll have 3 days to turn it in. There is a late penalty if you do so, and you can only use this once for the semester, so for one due date, okay, for the written assignments. Make sure you're checking your email daily, okay, because this is how I'm communicating with you. So please be checking your college assigned email daily, as well as the announcements in Canvas. Okay, so those could come at any time. If I need to speak with you or there's an important announcement, obviously that's how I'm going to communicate with you. So it's your responsibility to check that. And I do prefer email to communicate. So if you ever have questions, please use that. But like I said, make sure you're checking that daily. Another common question I get from students, Professor Z, when are we meeting? So when am I going to see you online? So there are no live class sessions. This class is completely what we call asynchronous, which means you work at your own pace as long as you meet all the deadlines. So we don't have any mandatory required meetings. However, if you want to talk to me, I do have office hours, or you can shoot me an email and we can set up a Zoom meeting if you need to talk to me about something, okay? But there are no mandatory required live sessions that you have to attend. The instructional material is on Canvas and posted and ready to go. And those units will be unrolled as we hit them, okay? So once the class begins, on October 20th. Unit 1 will be up and running. You can start working on that. All right, another really important announcement. All of your assignments require APA format. So when you're turning in your written work, you have to cite your sources using APA format. I'm assuming some of you have never done that before, and that's okay. I'm going to teach you how to do it. So in Canvas, in the orientation module, I've created a page that gives examples on how to do this. And by the way, our textbook is also written in APA in terms of the in-text citations and the reference list. So you have to do that. That is mandatory for all of your assignments, and you will be heavily penalized if you do not do so. So if you need help with that, please reach out to me as soon as possible. Take a look at that page in the orientation module, which I think will answer a lot of your questions. But if you need help, I'm definitely here to help you, okay? You can also, okay, so another important announcement, another problem I've been getting recently is AI. You cannot use AI in any way to write any of your assignments, and I will be checking each one. That includes Grammarly. Your assignments have to be 100% original, okay? So you have to write them completely on your own. And if you do not do so, I will not be accepting them, okay? So I just want to throw that out there at the beginning. It's very tempting to kind of use AI to kind of do your assignment for you. I will be checking and it's going to be very obvious. So please do not do that. It will be a 0 if you do so. So you have to write your assignments in your own words. And really, that's to demonstrate that you understand the material, because obviously I'm trying to gauge that as a professor, your instructor. All right, next, office hours. So I do hold virtual office hours every Monday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Zoom. I put the link to the Zoom room in on the Start Here menu, so you can check that out there. I realize that a lot of you may be working or busy during that time. So if you need to meet with me and you cannot, you're not available for the office hours, shoot me an email and then we'll make something work. We'll arrange something. My schedule's pretty hectic this semester, but I'm definitely willing to accommodate you as best I can. So let me know when you're available, and then we'll try to make something work to set up a Zoom meeting. I prefer email because I do check that regularly, but if you want to speak to me, we can definitely set up a meeting. Make sure you check out the Start Here page. So the Start Here page, you can access that from the home page. It's in that red box. So I've listed a lot of the major points of the class, in resources as well. So make sure you go through the Start Here page and read that, and then let me know if you have any questions. All right. It's going to be an awesome semester. I know you're going to love this class. It's going to go really quick. We're only here for 8 weeks, which is, an insane pace, in my opinion. It's doable, but you're really going to have to be disciplined and work hard. So if you ever have questions or need support, please email me or show up to the office hours kind of thing. I know like I said, I know you're going to like this class. And so enjoy it. Let me know if you have questions, and I will see you online.